fairies and fairies, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having an amazing, gorgeous, abundant day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the benefits of healing your inner child. So if you guys do not know, I have a new workshop available on my shop, which is going to discuss how to heal your inner child. And it's going to have 2 workbooks that's going to have over 70 plus affirmations and journal prompts, so you can start the journey, as well as actual tangible tips and tricks that's going to help you start connecting with and healing any of those toxic traits and habits that your inner child still has. That way they can manifest their desires and really believe that they can achieve anything they want. The best way to start manifesting your desires is through our inner child. Our inner child is the vessel in which gives us life to actually cultivate what we want, to believe that we can have these dreams and to make them a reality. So yeah, if you guys would like to know more about that class, do click the link in the description box or the link up here, and let's just get started and jump into this video. But before we do make sure to subscribe, turn on my post notifications so you won't miss a video from me. Now, let's hop into this org. It's not fun. It's not fun having a Libra Mercury because I talk so fast sometimes. So we're going to talk slow, and we're going to talk intentional, and we're going to be intentional in this video, okay? I'm not going to speed through. You saw how I did that intro? I did that shit in like a minute. Like, that's crazy. First thing we're going to talk about when it comes to healing your inner child is to unlearn toxic habits and traits. So the best thing that I really like about healing your inner child is that you're going to be able to unlearn all those habits you've used in order to either protect yourself, to stay away from things that is different and new to you. A lot of times we were not born with the ability to not express ourselves, to not have confidence within ourselves, to not dream and be in this place where we can believe anything can happen. We learned that through society. We learned that through the information we were taking in as kids. And unfortunately, we cultivated these habits instead of, seeing a different habit or a different way, because we probably didn't have a figure in our life that can show us a different path than the one was taught to us. So because of that, this is the perfect time to start unlearning all those habits you used to really cultivate instead of, enabling them. So especially with TikTok, we love this trend of like, I'm toxic and what about it? That's not cute. It's not fun. You don't deserve a cookie. You shouldn't be toxic. You shouldn't be doing that with your significant other. Your relationship shouldn't be this damn stressful just because you have learned some toxic habits. So we want to unlearn these things so our relationships and our connections can be better, as well as we will be able to attract connections and energy and people who align with our soul purpose, rather than whoever put this belief and this concept within us. So healing your inner child is definitely going to be key in order to unlearn any toxic habits and traits, because these habits and these beliefs have been with us through years, and it's going to take some time to unlearn those things and to kind of root the cause, find the root cause of why exactly we do the things that we do. So when you start doing when you start healing your inner child and you find the root of the cause, you're going to be able to pluck that root and start anew. So your inner child is definitely going to be key when it comes to your shadow work journey, because a lot of the trauma and a lot of the things that we have, cultivated on our spirit and learned, it came from our inner child and what those people around in our lives taught us. One thing I really like, I've been reading the 4 Agreements again. If you guys don't know what that book is, it's an amazing book. Do read it, it's super great. One of the things that Louise, I forgot his name, the author, but one of the things he talks about is how as kids, we never had the chance to dream, or we never had the chance to instill new beliefs in us. All these beliefs, all these dreams that we have on our spirit that isn't ours, it came from someone else, and you never had the chance to explore what it means to be. Society tells you to do this, society tells you to do that, and whenever you try to explore what it means to be you, to listen to your inner voice, it was stomped out by everybody else's dream, by everybody else's beliefs, by everybody else's agreements. And when you go through that process of unlearning those agreements and finding a new one, you can find your own dream through all that noise and chaos. So you're healing your inner child is definitely going to be key to that, and definitely going to be paramount in starting the first agreement, because I think the first agreement, actually I have the book. The book is right here. Hold on. So it's like this, what I'm talking about starts in chapter 1. It's called The Domestication and the Dream of the Planet. This is going to change your outlook on society and on going after what you desire, because you're going to recognize that like what society wants and what you want is completely different, and it's okay. So one of the things that I really like is this is why humans resist life. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive, the risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We've learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. That is literally what kids were taught. That is literally what kids were built off of, trying to satisfy everybody else's energy and beliefs. And you can break that shit just through healing your inner child. So many good like things in it. Like the one I really like the most is true justice is paying only once for each mistake. True injustice is paying more than once for each mistake. And then another one is the agreement is so strong that even if we understand the concept of it not being true, we feel the blame, the guilt, and the shame that occur if we go against these rules. So if you go against these toxic habits you've been learning, if you go against these ideologies and beliefs that adults in your life instilled upon you as a kid, you're going to feel guilty, you're going to feel shame, and it's going to be harder for you to get out of that. But you have to challenge that. You have to challenge what makes you feel safe if it's not what you are and what you align with. And this book is going to help you do that. So I highly recommend you pick up that book if you guys want it. But yeah, definitely do that. You're going to be able to unlearn all those toxic habits. So the next thing that really helped me as I was healing my inner child is seeing your parents as human beings. So oftentimes what stops us forgiving our parents for the shit they did was the fact that, or like even standing up to them or being able to set like good boundaries with them, is the fact that we see them in this entirely separate space from us. So maybe you put them on a pedestal. Maybe you think nothing can harm them, that they're unstoppable, that they're just like an ultimate being in your life. They're not. They're human beings. They're not God. And they love to stress that, which is so crazy. Like, I'm not God. God's the only one who can judge you, but yet you're still judging me. Like, it doesn't make sense. And when it makes it easier for you to not only forgive them for the mistakes they made, but to stand up for yourself whenever you try to set boundaries, whenever you're trying to break free from that toxic habit and that cycle. And it also sets you in this place where you view them as any other human being who hurts you. You're going to get cut off. When you start viewing your parents like that, you start to understand them on a soul level. Like, okay, I see why they did what they did as a kid. It doesn't excuse it, but I do understand, because maybe you probably didn't understand why your parent was the way they are. And if they don't have any like mental illnesses or anything of that nature, this will help you kind of understand why they're the way they are. But it doesn't excuse what they've done, and it doesn't excuse why they won't change right now in this moment. So when you start seeing your parents as human beings, it's going to be easier for you to move through that pain that your inner child has gone through. And it's also going to help them not be so afraid of that trauma and that pain, because they were just hurt humans hurting other beings or hurting humans. Another thing that's really helped when it comes to healing your inner child, and another benefit, is that you're going to be able to forgive yourself, and you're going to be able to forgive other people in your life. Forgiveness is essential and key in your healing journey. I do talk about this in a video in the past, so I'm gonna put it up here if you guys want me to talk about that more in depth. But forgiveness is essential when it comes to this path, because not only are you going to forgive other people, but you have to forgive yourself for the toxic traits and habits that you cultivated and expressed to your family members. You are not always the victim, and in some cases you used the exact same things that your parents used or the people in your family have used against them as well, and it had hurt them and it gave them trauma as well. So when you recognize that, it's going to be easier for you to see like what you have done and to stop it, and also what you're doing right now currently in any of your relationships. Because if you always see yourself as the victim in every single situation, there are going to be situations where you're not the victim and you're actually the perpetrator, and you cannot recognize it because you're not willing to open yourself up to that space, opening yourself up to recognizing that, okay, I built these toxic habits, and yes, I was a victim in the past because of how my parents treated me and things of that nature, but then I took what they've taught me and I brought it to somebody else and gave somebody else trauma. But you don't want to do that. So that's going to help you release a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, and a lot of habits, because you have to be able to let go of it. And if you're holding on to that pain and resentment, you're also going to be holding on to the energy that they gave you, to the lessons that they taught you, and you're going to be bringing it to someone else. So the last thing that really helps you when it comes to connecting with your inner child is talking to and listening to them. Now I'm going to discuss exactly how you can do so in a workshop, but once you start to talk with them and listen to them and connect with them, it's going to be so much easier to figure out what exactly is wrong, how you can start healing from it, and how you can move forward. Your inner child is always calling out, always speaking to you, like period, point blank. They are always speaking to you. All you need to do is open yourself up to them and actually listen to their words. And when you start this practice that I'm going to teach you in that workshop, it's going to allow you to start listening to them further and start making movements to make sure that they're good as well. Of course, they're not going to take the reins, but you're also going to put them first as you put yourself first. So that is really key and amazing. All these tips when it comes to connecting with your inner child. And I really hope that these tips brought some clarification to you. The last thing I'm going to leave you with when it comes to connecting with your inner child is this. Do take it slow. You don't have to rush the process. I know I always get this question about, well, what if you don't know what has happened in the past? Like, you can't remember anything from your childhood. Start with the habits that you have been cultivating right now. What habits are toxic in your life that you have been cultivating? They don't have to be toxic, but what habits that you do not like? And you start from that point and you just go down the line. Slowly but surely, but you don't have to rush yourself. It can take months to start connecting with your inner child. It can take years, but the fact is that you're doing it, you're taking steps towards it, and that's all that matters. So yeah, really hope this video helped you and brought some clarity to you guys and give you some inspiration to go after healing your inner child. Again, make sure to stop by my link in the description box if you want to check out that workshop and join us on October 14th, I think it is, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can learn exactly how to start connecting and healing your inner child. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Do let me know down below. What other videos you guys would like to see from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, my loves.